Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? You hear me well? Yeah, cool. So I guess we can get going with this one. So thank you very much for being here today. Actually, we're very excited to present you our product. I'm Mauro Marinilli. With me is Gufran Ipkar. We are from the product group. And did I say it right? Or? Yeah, it's perfect. Are you sure it's perfect? You made a strange face. I'm sorry. I rehearsed this, but I got a moment of. So today we're going to talk about marketing, and we have a lot of demos for you. This is the first of many sessions. So today we're just going to give you a bit of an overview of what this thing can do for you or cannot. And then we're going to have more sessions that go. Tomorrow we have a workshop, so you can stay with us 2 hours and play with the product. By the way, you can always play with the product because it's available online. So you go there, in 2 minutes, you get a trial, and you just send emails or make events or whatever you want out of the box. So you can use it as much as you want. So lots of sessions, but today we start from an overview of the product and giving you some ideas of what this thing is good for and how you can use it with sales and service and the rest of the ecosystem. So we start from the problem, at least the problems we think that many marketers and many companies face today. For example, the fact that it's hard to get qualified leads or really build, grow with the business. At the same time, they're disconnected systems. So a system that sends email, maybe another system where you copy and paste things for an event, or you use SMS separately, and so on. So the whole thing is a bit clunky. And the end users, your customers, realize that. So the experience is not ideal. What we call the customer journey is not optimized. And at the same time, also, because we have this kind of silos, we have the sales and the marketing team, sometimes the leads are not, are poorly organized. So it feels like it could be better. And at the same time, it's also hard to really feel in control of the entire pipeline, right? Even if you buy all the latest tools, even if you put in all your best efforts, it's still something, you don't see the insights you want to see. You cannot take action the way you want it. So how many of you feel something like this today here? Do you see yourself into these kind of problems? Good, good, cool. Can I ask quick, how many of you are marketers or customers, so to speak? Interested in marketing? OK, cool. How many of you are partners? Oh, wow. Oh, lots of partners, actually. OK, cool. So for the partners, we have more in-depth sessions tomorrow on the personalization and the workshop as well. So if you guys want to come, and we have a theater session as well. So how are we going to go against these kind of problems? Well, obviously, obvious thing is I want to nurture more sales-ready leads, obviously. So I want to have a more streamlined sales pipeline, obviously, so that my efforts, my resources are well spent. At the same time, aligning sales and marketing has always been something a little, kind of an objective. And now that we have this world of AI and the big data, all these cool tools, can I use them to market and sell in a smarter way? Why should I go and keep doing the same stuff I was doing 10 years ago, or 20 years ago? And at the same time, having the ability of having a platform, which is the Dynamics platform, that can grow with my needs. And I can extend it, customize. And this is actually a very important point for us, because probably we are the only vendor out there with a certain level of depth in capacity, that in extensibility and so on. They offer all of these things at once. So at the same time, what we call the customer journey in the world of marketing, so the way customers are touched by our experience or by our competitors, or how they feel the product we are selling or the services and so on, gets more and more complex. There are more channels, more real-time capabilities, and more and more. This is just an example. We could talk for hours about this journey, but these are the kind of journeys our customers want to implement, because this is the modern way to engage with your customers. And you want to do this without spending a fortune or without getting in a very enterprise level, very complex system. Simplicity and the cost effectiveness are very important at the end of the day. So here it comes, what we think is our solution, which is a new architecture we've built with Dynamics, and we're building it. We are not done. We just actually started. And you heard James about the data at the center of everything. And you're going to see now in the demo today that the demos we're building, that we're going to show you that we have really went the extra mile. So when we decided to build this new marketing application, the marketing app, which is built in the same system, in the same architecture and technology as the sales and service apps. We call them together the customer engagement apps, as you can see here. We built it from the ground up with a new vision. We thought, where is going to be marketing in 10 years from now? Do we really want to go and take, because we built this like a couple of years ago, and we had already the plans for the big data infrastructure that now you guys are seeing, the machine learning we are deploying over time. So we wanted to bring our customers in a place where marketing will be in 10 years from now, because then you will have made the right investment. It doesn't make any sense to build another product, which all our competitors are technologies built like 10 or 20 even years ago. And they work, you can do everything, but is it really the best way to do the modern marketing that we've seen before? So this is our bet, the bet of building a kind of an architecture completely integrated, where not only we have service, sales, and marketing all on the same platform, same data, same ecosystem, and same extensibility model, but also all the other pieces of the puzzle, like F&O, Business Central, Talent, and so on. All of this built around the data. Not only data, but as you can see, they are also machine learning, because what's the point of having data if then I need to go and become a data scientist? I want to have out-of-the-box tools that enable me to use this data. So here is now zooming it a little bit more into the marketing story together with sales, because today we're going to focus. So we've seen the bigger pictures, so all the other pieces of the puzzle. Now let's zoom into sales and marketing and how all of this will work together. And we're just going to give you a glimpse of the things that are possible today. You can come to all our other sessions to see more. So first demo of the day. Good to go? Cool. Was it the right button? Yeah, it was good. So now Gufran is going to show us just a very glimpse of sales and marketing together.
All righty. Thanks a lot, guys.
The mic, microphone.
Oh, my voice was actually quite loud still.
Your voice is loud, that's true.
Yeah, always loud. All right, thanks a lot for joining. So this is the first set of demos, and please pardon me, I have 3 systems to demo in 3 consecutive slots, so I might actually screw up a little here and there. But I'll try my best. So the first demo that we're going to give is related to the sales and marketing integration. So we always talked about, Mauro talked about it, aligned sales and marketing. And I'm going to give a glimpse of how that alignment of sales and marketing, when both the marketing and the sales application are standing on the same platform, on the same stack, on the same DB, built on the same, let's say, infrastructure, work together. So from a scenario use case perspective, I'm going to play 2 roles over here. So I'm going to be playing a role of Lamar, who is a marketing manager for Contoso Bank. And there is some guy called Smith, who is a sales manager for the same bank, Contoso Bank over here. So Lamar, one fine dandy morning, Lamar comes into his office and says, okay, you know what? I have got the mandate to launch my new mortgage program, but I'm going to reach out to some real estate brokerages because I want to generate awareness. That's my new program. That's my mandate that I want to actually kickstart. So Lamar comes into the system and says, okay, he opens the Dynamics 365 for Marketing application, gets to see a nice view of the Get Started, which tells him exactly some of the basic steps that he can do, create emails, define his audience, and then build a campaign. The first thing that Lamar does is he says, okay, before I do anything, I need to define which audiences I'm going to target. So in order to say which audiences he's going to target, he looks at, let's say, he goes into the system and he starts creating, let's say, a segment. As he goes into the segment over here, he designs a segment for account partnership using the segmentation engine and defines all the people that are going to be reached with respect to, for his marketing engagement program from the real estate brokerages. So this is where he defines all the contacts he's going to potentially reach. Next, he wants to define an email. So he goes into the system and he says, okay, I'm going to define an email. I'm not going to create each asset as I go through the demo just because I have to give too many demos. But I'm going to show you already created assets, that there's an email that is designed, so on and so forth. So Lamar actually now goes into the email. He would actually click the email designer over here and then go into designing an email. So Lamar actually designs an email which looks something like this, where it's going to be sent to all the brokerages saying, you know what, we're looking for your partnership, for example, check out our portfolio, so on and so forth. That's what Lamar is thinking as of the moment. Next, Lamar has defined a segment. he wants to target. Lamar is defining his email using the email designer, and you'll be able to see a much more robust demo of the email designer if you come to the personalized session tomorrow, or if you come to the workshop. But for the course of this demo, so now he's going to define the campaign. The campaign primarily is the customer journey. So he goes in and he says, I'm going to define a customer journey. And in my customer journey, I'm going to say which people are going to be targeting. So I'm going to be targeting these people. This is the email that I'm going to be sending. If these people potentially open an email, then I'm going to create a lead out of that, of course. And if somebody actually registers in showing his interest, I'm going to again create a lead. So he defines that demand generation process that he's expecting his consumers to take as he defines his engagement process. And finally, since it's related to specific accounts or it's related to specific brokerages, he wants to work closely with sales. So he says, if somebody from a brokerage account, for example, comes in and shows his interest, I'm going to send an alert. I'm going to send an interesting moment from the sales account executive for that particular account. So I'm going to notify him. And then the process is going to be taken over by the sales. So let's assume that this process is put in place. Segment definition, audience, content that he's going to send, campaign that is going to shoot it, to which people, when, what action those users are going to take, after which he's going to engage the sales guys if the lead is getting generated. So let's say the campaign is now in execution. And I, being one of the top-notch shots, at a real estate brokerage firm, receive a very nice email over here saying something like, oh, Contoso Bank is interested in my partnership. I'm really happy about it. I'm honored to receive this email over here and say, okay, I can actually look at the video if I don't want to know, but I know too much about mortgages, so I'm going to say just check out the portfolio. Let's say I click the button, check out the portfolio, which will automatically land me over here on a marketing landing page, which contains a form showing, oh, checking out the portfolio is good, but why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, right? Don't shoot in the dark. So he puts his information over here saying, okay, I'm David Lee. I'm changing my name for the sake of the demo over here. And this is my email, so on and so forth. And I say, you know what, okay, tell me more about it. As I press the button, tell me more about it, this system should automatically trigger creation of a lead behind the system.
This is a lead in both in sales and marketing, right?
So it's going to trigger a creation of a lead behind the scenes automatically. And that lead is now available for me to look at. So as a marketer, I get to see, I go into the system, I look at all the rest of the leads. Of course, I've created and open a specific one over here, David Lee. And David Lee says, I open lead and say, okay, how is this lead looking? All right, this lead is over here. This is David Lee. He's shown an interest. He's come from that campaign. I know that part. He's getting scored as of the moment. So there's a lead scoring engine that continuously prioritizing the priority of the leads and the hotness of that lead, if I may say so. And based on this lead scoring, automatically the system is moving into the marketing qualification process that you see on the top. So it's moving in from inquiry, which is somebody inquired, to based on how he's engaging, based on his clicks, emails, attributes, what have you, and he's moving him through the lead qualification process all the way to sales acceptance stage. So this is the marketer point of view. The marketer sees somebody engages, system kicks in, scores him, prioritizes him, moves him to the lead qualification process all the way to the sales acceptance stage. So far, so good. So if I want to take a look now, as a marketer, I'm interested, what the hell did the guy actually do, right? He's moved too quickly into the sales acceptance stage. He must have done something, right? So in the spirit of fantasy, let's assume that he was clicking and doing a lot of things. I can go and look at the insights of that particular lead and say, oh, so this guy actually did a lot of things. He went to the website, he clicked the website, he visited, he got the email, and I've scored him a bunch of things. I'm progressing him. This is how his interactions are looking like, the breakdown. And I get to see a lot more insight about his engagement with Contoso Bank. So here, the marketer says, I think I've done a good job for the day. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee because I planned the content, I triggered the campaign, I got one guy to bite on it, the guy bit on it, created a lead into the system, and now he's even qualified, and now I'm going to shift it to sales. Now, change of hat. I move on as a sales guy who went into the sales app. As you can see, it's the same system, just so that it's clear that it's sitting on the same environment. It's the same system. It's just a different app, and I'm just logged in as a different user into the sales app. So Mark, usually on a day-to-day basis, always looks at the sales and marketing pipeline. This is what he looks at. How many leads are flowing, which stage they are sitting, and he's able to get that view because they're both on the same environment. It's about feeding of the same data. There is no integration, there is no flow, there is no connector. Very important thing. And I need to close it. I don't know, I closed all the notifications, but somehow somebody wants to discuss something with me. Doesn't matter. So let's assume that Mark says, oh, I'm looking at it. Let me take a look from a sales persona. Now shift your thoughts into what the sales guy is going to look in the system and what he's accessed. So he's access to the lead demand generation dashboard. He has a view over it. But he also wants to look what the hell is the marketing people doing. So he goes in and directly sees all the engagement activities that the marketing department is doing on a calendar view. He can see all the campaigns. He can click and go into the details of all the campaigns. He can see which people are getting targeted. He can see almost everything that I can give access to.
If he has permissions in
Of
CRM,
course.
because it's this CRM,
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
security and everything, yeah.
So he gets access to that one. So he is really happy. He sees there's a lot of effort going on for the launch of the new program. And then Mark is looking at a list of activities. At the list of activities that he needs to do. The first thing he sees is, oh, somebody created an activity for me to trigger a phone call with some guy called David Lee. So where is this activity coming from? He expects that this activity is coming from the marketing department. As the lead came in, the marketing department showed a notification to this guy, which appears as a phone call activity, could have been a task, into the sales application, into the sales workload itself. And he says, okay, let me take a look at this potential activity. He goes in and he says, okay, here's an activity that I need to do with this X guy who is David Lee. So he opens David Lee over here and says, okay, I need to do an activity for this guy. He's coming from that campaign as of the moment. But let me see, I mean, is this guy actually even as a part of a lead? So he goes in quickly, and he looks at, is there any particular lead that is associated with him? And behold, there is a lead that is coming in. So he knows there's a lead which is coming from that contact that has gotten engaged. He opens that lead, and I'll just open that lead over here. And as he is looking at the lead, same lead object, same system, he opens the form and he looks at a little bit of a different view. The view that the sales manager has is a sales qualification view. Here you can see that this lead is sitting at the qualify level for sales. It is already qualified by marketing because they think it's gotten hot enough to move through. He's actually got now into the sales qualification process, and he can define his own rules for his own sales qualification business process. He gets access to the same lead scoring. He has access to all the data, how the lead is getting scored, so on and so forth. And next he says, okay, let me look at what are the insights. What does that lead particularly do? He goes into the insights tab of the lead, again in the same app, same object, and he gets to see all the interactions. He gets to see all the insights, all the engagement that has happened. Not only he is able to see what he is doing individually with that contact where he's sending him an email, but he's to see all the marketing engagement activities. So nice and tidy. He's happy about it. I like it. He goes in and says, is there any more information at the contact level? Of course, I can open the contact from over here, David Lee. And if I would open the contact and try to see the insights of that particular contact, the sales guy, Mark Smith, is also able to see a lot more details about that contact because that contact has done a lot more stuff, not only in the context of this lead, but in general has engaged a lot. So the sales guy now has a complete picture. He's gotten the lead. He's know what the lead has potentially done. He's going to pick up the phone, call the guy and say, let's go for dinner. I'm going to pay for it. My company pays for it. Let's do some business. That's how he's tricking the qualification process. But he's so happy with the information he's getting from, say, marketing that he actually takes it a step further. He says, you know what? Marketing is sending me the leads. I talk to him on the phone through the email, which people to target. This time, I want some guy called Cameron, maybe he's my brother-in-law at a brick brokerage firm, to really get engaged into this process. So he opens the contact view. Again, same app. He goes into the contacts. I've already filtered out. He says, okay, this is the guy, Cameron. And he says, I'm going to actually push him process of the, let the marketing nurture him, but I'm going to decide which campaign, which segment is going to go through.
So basically sales can control marketing
exactly.
if they're allowed to.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
cool.
Sales now actually can influence the marketing activities, complement the marketing engagement activities, and really collaborate on that aspect. So Cameron, he selects it over here and he says, I'm going to add him to a segment. So he clicks over here, the segment screen pops up, and here I can quickly select the segment that I want him to push to, and I just do select, and I mean the system would automatically then, and you can see the segment was, the user was added to that segment. That segment already is getting through the nurturing process. So Cameron is going to go into the campaign nurturing, receive the portfolio email, go to the web page, engage, get the lead, yes, and the whole process. So in this demo, you already saw two different personas collaborating nice and efficiently because they're sitting on the same platform. The qualification starts triggered by the marketing, goes all the way through marketing to sales with all the insights applicability, but sales can then also influence it further. Sales actually can define which people marketing wants to target without doing anything, without any specific kind of two-system integration. And that's a very short, quick demo for this particular piece. We have a much more bigger demo this afternoon, so be sure to come in the theater session for a little bit more detail.
Yeah, that was pretty good, actually. Thanks, Gufran.
Thank you very much.
So basically, we have seen that sales and even service, right? This could have worked with service. If I'm on a call center, somebody calls, I can go there from my service app and see everything, all the touch points that marketing has ever done to the contact, lead, or even account. All the three of them, we just have seen contact and leads. So where we started in the sales app, in the marketing app, then we moved into the sales app. But at the end, it's just one single app. It's a customer engagement app, right? And you mix and match it with service if you want and so on, the way you want it, even with partner extensions, obviously. So it's actually a beautiful story that we think we have built. And what's the unique value of this, apart from the fact that, obviously, so the key highlights, let's say. First of all, it's secure and trusted, because we, as Microsoft, we've done a lot of investment into that. We are part of the Dynamics ecosystem, so we must be secure and trusted. Actually, many of our customers are banks and financials and quite strict organizations in terms of security, that they move to the cloud just because of our high level of security. We are actually the best, I would say, yes, probably the best on the market today, marketing application that out of the box provides a fully compliant environment for marketers. So CAN spam, GDPR, we have it all, and it works out of the box. So we really heightened the bar for compliance on the cloud, right? So that's an interesting, let's say, differentiator for us. Then the fact that we are living in the same platform, same data, and same ecosystem, that obviously is a big differentiator as well, as we've seen in our demo. So all our competitors and others as well, so they just integrate different systems, right? So they have silos and they move data in and out, but it's never so seamless as we've seen it. Then we have also some features that are a bit special to us, let's say. We have a couple, but just here, I just mentioned the bigger ones, is the event solution. Today, unfortunately, we don't have time to see the event solution because that's an hour or two on its own, but you can make an event like this one. So it's that powerful, and it's built in CRM, and it's fully integrated with marketing. And it comes already integrated, so no other vendor at our level can do something like this. And it works. It's built in a way that works for simple companies. So if I have a simple company that does an event a month or something, I don't have sessions, I don't have speakers, I don't have tracks, I don't have all the complications that we have in an event like this. I can still use it, and I can ditch my PowerPoint, my spreadsheets and my copy and paste of things, and it's working also at a very simple level, or it can scale to a more complex one without integrating different systems and so on. Then we have special capabilities in terms of LinkedIn integration, because we've done a lot of work with LinkedIn as a channel for let's say, business-oriented social aspects. And we're going to see some of this tomorrow. Today, we don't have the time, and even more. So we have some specialty, let's say, here and there, as well in terms of functionality. And then another thing we worked a lot is the scale and performance. So we build this system in a way that if you have a sales application which has hundreds or even thousands of salespeople, you don't want to plug marketing in, and then all of a sudden the performance goes down. So we build a very well-architected infrastructure on the cloud that is separate. So the performance, the scale, for example, when people click on an email and things like that, they don't end up in the CRM database. They end up on a separate cloud. It's still in the same data center, obviously, for highest performance. But we have worked a lot to enable, because this is, for us as Microsoft, it's a very strategic investment to build an ecosystem that can work for enterprise companies, at the same time also for smaller and medium ones as well. So that has been also a big differentiator. And then finally, the extensibility. The platform is quite powerful, actually. It enables you to add, extend, and build custom channels, build all sorts of things. And we're also going to get a peek of this tomorrow in our personalization session. So these are just an example of the things that we do that are a bit special compared to all our competition. And we're good to go for the next demo. So the next demo is going to be a little bit of an icebreaker or the creation of the things, right? We've seen how everything works together. Let's see the creation of the various assets quickly.
Cool. All right, round two. The next demo, but the first demo we saw, an end-to-end sales and marketing. In the next demo, I'm going to show you, some of the, let's say, great innovative stuff, that is coming out based on intelligence. And again, a very small subset we're going to see over here, but it should give you a glimpse. So the key aspect over here is like, in the previous demo, I defined the audience, I defined the content, actually it's the content, and I defined the journey, I defined when to send that email, for example. I defined all of this. How good would it be if at each step that I want or I was thinking of defining, the system could actually provide an intelligent recommendation in each and every step so that my engagement, for example, is not only my thought process, which I think is best, but the system actually couples it based on artificial intelligence. And this is exactly what we're going to see as part of this demo. So as part of Dynamics 365 for marketing, we're coming up with some nice baked-in, intelligent, embedded scenarios, and we're going to see over here how that is done. So assume same guy, Lamar Ferrari, nice one good day, dandy morning comes in. He's still working on his Contoso Bank, for example, or some other marketing engagement activities. And he says, okay, today I'm going to actually trigger another re-engagement email, and I'm going to create that re-engagement. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to define that content. So he comes into the application, against the marketing app, and he wants to create a marketing email. So I'm in the creation mode of a particular marketing email. And here you can already see a glimpse of drag and drop content design that you can do. Look at the email, look at the HTML, so on and so forth. And as I'm designing this email, and after I've put in all the content, I just wanted to make sure that, let me see, how is the preview looking like? And while I'm looking at the preview of the email, I see something over here on the right which says, oh, your spam score, I like yellow, I like green. So it has to be green. The system thinks there is something in this email which is not good. So I look at the spam score and I say, oh, there are a couple of things it says why is tracking this 44 score for my spam email. And the next one is a little bit of a funky thing that I'm going to do. But for the sake of this demo, what I do is I go back to the, again, same email to the designer and I say, you know what, maybe I need to remove something. I'm going to remove this word. So I think this is the word that needs to be removed. And after that, maybe my email is going to look better. I'm going to refresh this score over here. And wow, this is beautiful, right? So all of a sudden, by removing some word that was triggering it to be part of spam, actually I knew the word beforehand, I'm demoing it, but nonetheless, there were reasons. And if I corrected that email with respect to those recommendations, I should get a better spam score, which my engine is predicting as of the moment. And I'm now very happy with the email. The email is going to go, not going to hit in the spam inbox, not in the junk, but directly into the users.
And this is powered by artificial intelligence on our cloud with big data, right?
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly. So that part I have done now. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a campaign. And as part of that campaign, I'm going to see, let's just create a campaign for a second. So I'm going to create a simple campaign. I say, I'm going to create a simple email journey. This is the email journey. And of course, like anything else, I can set all the properties for that particular email journey over here. For example, the segments that are going to be sent over there. And I'm going to send, for example, the email that I just defined, for example. Okay. Oh, okay. Maybe that here. So I've defined that email, but as I'm designing my campaign, this is one way of doing it. This is what I did before. I just designed the campaign, blasted everybody with that email. I didn't care whether you were freaking sleeping or you were having a party or you were enjoying your son's birthday. I said, you get this email and you better respond now. Because I'm clicking refresh the insights and nobody's responding. So I say, you know what, can the system do something better? And the system actually does something better. So I say, okay, you know what, I'm going to schedule it. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to schedule this. So I'm going to say, okay, let's schedule this. I'm going to get better. Forget about this one. Somebody still wants to meet with me. And say, okay, I'm going to schedule this one. And I'm going to say, actually, you know what, send within a duration of 1 day. This is my best, let's say, capacity that I can do. But below, I see that the system actually offers me something better. It says, you know what? Let's do some smart scheduling. You know, I'll take the trouble out of your way. I'm going to actually give you the best time that I'm going to send in, that you can send an email to this particular guy expecting to get the maximum open hits and the maximum clicks on that email. So I'm absolutely very happy about it, right? I don't need to worry about the birthday or anything now. I mean, the system knows when I check an email, whether just before night or just the first thing I do in the morning, not a good habit, but this is, the system knows about your habits. And I define over here, based on artificial intelligence, set the system up to say, you know what, send this email based on your best judgment on the best time that the guy actually opens the email. But should I trust the system? How do I know which time is best, right? I mean, I might look at differently, Mauro looks at differently, my boss actually looks 24/7 on the emails. So what is the time that is the best to send an email? You say, okay, you know what, let me just look at a particular, let me look at that contact as an example. So I go into the system, and again, the same app, I've just opened one of the contacts, as you can see, Cameron, and I'm trying to show you that the system is, as you can see, is already evaluating and capturing the best time that this contact actually opens based on all the past engagement. That is continuously happening. The system is learning continuously, churning, and he knows that this guy, for some reason, Mondays, where he's very happy, during lunch hour has the highest open rate. I don't know why. I don't have a good answer for that one. This is not a good time for me to open an email, but he has a good time. And if I would create a campaign, and I would actually ask the smart scheduling to say, you know what, send at the best time, give him a duration, the system is going to pick up based on his best judgment on when this guy opens the email and send the email right at that time for the best open rate. So far, I have actually created the content. The system told me this is a good content that it can go. And I've actually asked the system, please send the communication and the engagement at the right time. And the system knows, because it's continuously learning. For each and every contact in my system, it's continuously learning. Maybe after the demo. Cool. And he would actually send an email at the right point in time. So far, so good. The other thing I want to do is, I want to say, you know what, I defined the audience, right? In the last demo we saw, I defined the audience, and the sales guy came in and says, I like your audience, I like David Lee, but my brother-in-law is Cameron. I think he's going to be a good fit. He infused Cameron into a nurturing process. Now I'm going to take the next step. I say, you know what, there's such a big database that I have. So many people I reach out to, and I don't know everybody by name or everybody by personality either. So can the system reckon me something better? And yes, the system actually comes up with a capability, which we called it a segment boost, whereby if you define a cohort of audiences that you are targeting, the system is going to find out a certain set of patterns in those audiences, look in your database and find similar people and say, these are people that look very similar based on my best judgment. Do you want me to add it to the campaign directly? So if you're targeting 100, the system can add another 100 in we call a segment boost. So let's look at that segment boost. So where does segment boost come in is in the customer journey. So let's say, I have designed this customer journey. We were looking at the top re-engagement. The journey is active. It's running nice and tidy with the best time to schedule. Everything is, life is good and dandy. And I would just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to just add, for example, over here. As I am editing a live journey over here, the system is telling me, do you want to boost? And I am, let's say, forced to actually click this nice button, boost, right? All of us, the system actually up and says, maximum number of contacts that you want me to boost with, optimize it for what purpose, whether it should be email open or email click, and what should be the confidence level. It asks me, well, you know what, just give me some parameters so that I can get to work. The system says, okay, do it for XYZ reason. I'm going to click it over here, but the system actually triggers the boost of that particular segment, which is already there. And let's look at a customer journey, which already has that boost segment. And this should have had the boost segment, yeah. So here you can see there's already a journey which has a boost segment called a segment booster. And to know that it is actually working, here is a segment which only contains 2 members. So I started with 2-member segment. I added a boost, which added another 2 members because the total segment count over here is 4. So 2 segment boosted, 2 you targeted. And if I want to look as to what exactly was the boost, I can quickly go here and look at the members. And the system is going to tell me, okay, you know what, I added these 2 guys. Now they look very technical, but in a real system, you might have nice names and they would resonate with you, right? And this is how the system actually automatically adds and extends the cohort of your engagement coverage by boosting it based on artificial intelligence. So boost correct content creation, right time to send the communication, and most importantly, boost your engagement based on artificial intelligence. Thanks a lot.
Cool. Thanks, Gufran. So what we've seen then is machine learning. We've seen how machine learning is built into the product. And by the way, there is no additional SKU. You just get it for free. So the big data story, the machine learning, Power BI, integration, and all these capabilities are built into the product out of the box. Now, this slide here, which is going to take some time, is an important slide because it shows all the main feature areas of the product. So let's go through this quick. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to go through each and every area. Actually, let me try something so that we can kind of keep tabs. OK, good. Let's start from the top, the multi-channel campaigns. So we have email marketing. So the heart of the system is engagement orchestration, smart with machine learning, but also integrated with sales and marketing in the Dynamics ecosystem. So email marketing, we've seen a demo. You can create emails and send them at volume. Landing pages and forms, we provide the built-in integration with the portal. But if you want to use your own CMS system, maybe you have WordPress or your customer have any other CMS out there, you can easily customize and integrate it. Then we have built reusable content. Imagine you have done a logo, for example, or some other assets, and you want to reuse these very same assets with CRM security on top for sales, marketing, and even service. You can have knowledge-based articles, email marketing, and so forth, using the same assets. So this is also quite powerful. Assets, templates, and so on. And then we have the LinkedIn integration that we mentioned before briefly. Here we are keep on adding more and more capabilities. We have actually very nice integration. Bidirectional. You can get leads from LinkedIn, push them to marketing, orchestrate them in marketing, and see their behavior, and push them back to LinkedIn in matched audiences, for example. So all of this without the need of coding. So the marketer can create easily quite sophisticated campaigns if he wants to. Then website personalization, which is about personalizing a website with the CRM data and the tracking from marketing. So marketing has a powerful engine for tracking. So we know who is a visitor, and we know it as a contact in the CRM database or a lead and so on. So once somebody comes to my website, even if my own website built with another system, doesn't have to be portals, you can still personalize it or do other sophisticated things based on the data we have in marketing and sales. And then the marketing calendar, which we have seen a little demo before, which is a powerful control that you can reuse not only for marketing, but in any other scenario. And you can share it. It's just kind of a view in CRM, just rendered as a calendar, and can offer multiple entities. And then on the second line, the lead nurturing aspect, which is also very important with Gufran. So we have a very powerful engine for segmentation, which works both on behavioral data. So somebody has clicked on an email, somebody stayed give me a segment, all the people that stayed on this pricing table on my website for more than 5 minutes, and they have clicked and they were busy doing stuff. Give me all these people, and then I can segment them. I can do an intersection with the people in my database, for example, that have bought more than a certain amount of merchandise and whatnot. So I can mix and match all the data easily with the UI we've seen before. Then we have the journey designer, this editor that you can drag and drop things, and you can orchestrate without the need of coding. Marketers can go out there and build quite sophisticated things by themselves. And then we have the lead scoring models, which we briefly touched in Gufran's demo. So the ability of building different models, again, with a simple drag and drop capability, again, using the same data you have in segmentation. So you mean behavioral and demographic data and so on. And you can build scoring models and then score people for different dimensions. Have different models for, I don't know, the propensity to buy or other things. And you can even decay the models. So if somebody is inactive for 1 week, you want to go down with the score because it's not engaged. You can build it the way you want it. And then very, very interesting also, we have account-based marketing. Account-based marketing is a way of doing marketing based on accounts. So it's a bit of a philosophy. It's a strategic approach to marketing. But you can use our tools also if you are not doing account-based marketing as a philosophy of marketing. Just use it because you can, in our orchestration here, you work on the content, but you can also work at the account level. You can have, for example, invite an entire account to an event and see the people that registered, and then you can move all the other people as one account, so all the contacts that are in that automation with you in the automation. That's quite powerful, actually. And account-based marketing has a lot of other capabilities. There are, I don't know if we'll have a chance to see them. I don't think so tomorrow, but quite powerful capability for those that do B2B and account-based engagement. Then the automated business process flow, which is very important to us because that's how we do. We've seen the lead life cycle in the demo before. So when a lead goes from qualified and moves on and gets accepted by sales and then works with marketing and so forth, all of this is customizable, and it can be customized thanks to the power of the business process flow by an analyst. It doesn't have to be a developer. That's also a huge bonus because you really now have no excuses to have sales and marketing sitting together with the business process that the company has and really make it work as one team. Then we spoke about event management. Event management on its own is kind of a bit of a module, like very large and sophisticated, but also very simple because if you don't need all the extra things, you just work on the simple things. You can do webinars and in-person events like this one, as complex as this one, or even simpler, obviously. And you can use the entire event solution without the rest of marketing. If you just want to do events, you can do it. You pay only the contacts you use. We're going to see the pricing later. So you basically pay what you use it for, right? And the rest, if you don't need it, you just don't use it. And we come again out of the box with the portal, a portal for doing registration, similar to the portal you guys have used to register to come to this conference. And this portal can be hosted on a separate system, again, to any CMS of your choice, or you can use in our ADX, let's say, portals as well, built-in. Of capabilities like a session, speech, making something like conference, basically. QR codes, you can send QR codes in an email. All these kind of simple things, and people can scan the QR code and get checked in, and all of this from the convenience of CRM. So you can customize it, add another field, remove things. So it's CRM at the end, right? So it's quite powerful and flexible. Finally, well, not finally, almost, but insights and reporting. So also there we have a lot of capabilities. The 360 view of leads, but not only leads, as Gufran has shown, you can have 360, we call 360 the view that you have the data from CRM, like activities, sales data and so on, together with the marketing behavior. So who has clicked on this email, who has opened this website, how many SMS we have sent to this person and so on. All of that is captured in one comprehensive view, which is the one that Gufran showed before. We call it Customer 360. For leads, contacts, and accounts as well, because of account-based marketing. Then we have interaction insights, which is this storage where we store all the big data about these interactions. But you can use these interactions in the system. So it's just for performance and scale, but at the end you can use them the way you want it. For example, when you have a lead scoring model, the lead scoring model calculates all the models outside CRM, because you can have hundreds of thousands of leads being scored by the system. You don't want to do this with a workflow in CRM that will kill the whole performance. So it's done in a separate dedicated cloud, but the results of the lead scoring, the little numbers, the values, are in CRM, so you can use them the way you want it. So there is this continuous, let's say, trade-off between the power and performance, at the same time also the easy of use within CRM, because CRM as a platform, let's say the CDS, it's where all our partners are used to work, and we want to reuse the same tools we have today for extending the system. So, and we talked about social. On social, we have a social manual post from the calendar you can post to LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're going to add now in the future social also as a tile for the orchestration, so you can react on social events and so on moving forward. Surveys, we're going to be moving to the new survey tool, Forms Pro, in autumn. And then custom analytics. Obviously, we are on top of Power integration with the rest of the ecosystem, also in terms of Power BI. So we ship out of the box a set of templates, source templates you can go and take, and we have templates for all sorts of things like the pipeline, the revenue, and all other things. So you can take those templates and use them for your Power BI analytics reports, or just extend them the way you want it. Then we talked about the platform, the value of the platform, and as I mentioned before, this now available in the April release, the content management integration. This is done without the need of coding. It's very important because our customer asked us, we don't want to customize the system, use APIs, to just integrate with different systems, because it's kind of fragile, it's expensive to build, and give us a self-service tool that some savvy user, not maybe marketer, but somebody a little smart can just go and configure it themselves. So that's very important for us to kind of minimize the cost of adoption as well. Obviously, our partners can build a lot of services on top, and that's why obviously we build a lot of extension for them. But the system is also, we try to make it very easy to use and self-service as much as possible. Then sales integration, as we just have seen it, and the easy onboarding. Easy onboarding is now, if you try to set up a trial, it takes 2 minutes. 2 minutes to set up an entire trial, and you go up and running. And we have step-by-step guidance to explain, the steps in the product. And then obviously extensibility APIs. This is more for our partners. So the system is quite flexible, obviously, and can be extended. And many scenarios are capable with the same tools that partners are used from the CRM ecosystem. So you don't have to learn new skills or new complex things. Then AI, we have seen the AI very briefly. So the smart scheduling, segment boost, and a spam score, all built into the product, built on top of our ecosystem, and more will come, especially with the integration with the rest of the ecosystem. So what's coming then in April? Well, sorry, this is already came. It's just out there. We have the field I mentioned before. You'll find them into the product, so it doesn't matter if they came now or they were there before. What's in preview now is the AI capabilities. The AI capabilities is something we want to tune it a little bit before releasing out. And obviously, we really want to make this for real, so it has to be working and performing at scale. So we want to take a, of course, if you're interested, let us know, and we will add you to the preview. But it's not going to be available for everybody, not yet at least. Then some adopters. So actually, we have actually lots of interest for the product, and it's growing well, let's say, beyond our expectations. We are kind of a year old at the end, but we still have a lot of interesting customers, both small, medium, say mid-market, enterprise, and even some enterprise customers, actually. So it's quite remarkable, I would say. This is some of, this is, for example, a small company. Very, very motivated. They've done a fantastic job, and they really took our product to the next level. So we are very happy to work with them. And not only them, but also Microsoft itself. So the Microsoft retail stores that when you go and buy a Surface and things like that, they use our actually tool, this tool here, for their events. So when you go in a retail stores, I don't know, in Seattle, and you book, for example, you go online and you book a, I don't know, tuning of your Surface, or another event that the store offers, I don't know, some video game get-together, or any other event from the stores, they're built with, and they're powered by our system. So, and this is actually now deployed worldwide. So, and we are working with them, with Microsoft actually, with us, let's say with other departments to use our product more and more. So it's also quite interesting. Now we're in for the last demo for today. And let's see if we can make it in 5.
Okay. Round 3.
Yes.
Ding.
Off you go.
Excellent. Excellent. So far, what we've seen, so my first demo, whatever is out there, seamless demand generation, aligned sales and marketing, collaboration, capabilities of marketing that gives the glimpse. Second demo, artificial intelligence. I'm all of a sudden more intelligent, right? I mean, in order to help the marketers and the salespeople to do the job. Third demo, so far we talked about a single DB. We talked about a single platform. We talked about a single instance where all your data is residing. But more and more what we're saying is like today in this world, we don't want, let's say, just that piece which is recorded or stored in Dynamics, but what we really want, we want a 360 profile of a customer. And in many cases, in my naive view, 360 actually sometimes ends with what marketing is capturing, what the sales guy is capturing, but that's not the reality. In reality, that 360 actually means your POS data. That 360 actually means the commerce data that you have. Your 360 means your other scripts and other systems that you have. So in a marketing ecosystem that you have deployed at your customers, there are a bunch of systems. and you want to leverage each and every information about a particular contact to really define that right cohort and audiences. The answer to that through that 360 profile and capturing data is given by Dynamics in the form of Dynamics 365 for Customer Insights. That is the platform, that is the solution, that is the product which is now on offer in order for you to build that 360 profile by dumping and collecting all the data that you can potentially imagine and let the system build that unique profile. So the key thing is that's gold mine, right? And marketers want to use that gold mine. They don't want to only figure out that, don't want to only segment people based on their industry or their city. They want to, let's say, for example, segment people based on who was the highest, what's the highest long lifetime value customers, I mean, who are the highest purchasers and the high spenders actually in their accounts. Yes, I'm still good. Yeah, I'm surviving. So this demo, on this one, we're going to see how the new C360 or the Dynamics 365 for Customer Insight, how that system actually seamlessly works with Dynamics 365 for marketing, at least as of today. So here what you see on the screen is Dynamics 365 for Customer Insight system. And I've logged in into the system as of the moment. It's showing me that in my, and that could be any user. It could be a business analyst, it could be a marketer, it could be a salesperson, any persona that is continuously looking at all the data in the system that he is gathering and they are collecting, and has defined a bunch of segments of various people with respect to high risk churn or the spa recommendation. And why do you think it's a spa? Because the use case I'm projecting over here is Contoso Hotels. So apparently Contoso is a big conglomerate. They have the bank and they have the hotel chain also. So in this case, it's the hotel chain. And the use case over there is going to be that I'm going to find out the people that are let's say some of my premium customers in the hotel chain. I'm going to try to target them for my mortgage program also in the bank. So I'm looking at this Customer 360. I'm looking at, for example, the various categories that the data is collected for. What are the various brands over here? I've defined a bunch of various segments over here. I'm going to look at those. I'm going to look at those segments over here. So these are the three segments: high risk churn, spa recommendation, unused open emails. I could have easily, using my segmentation engine, I could easily create a segment or look at the segmentation engine that is sitting on that one, which is going to allow me to create conditions for all the various kinds of data that is available in the C360 environment. But let's assume, that I've created that particular segment. I can also look at a bunch of customers that are available. Over here, as you can see, it shows me a unique profile. And if I click any of these customers, as an example, my famous David Lee guy, he is one of the contacts that is there. And the system already tells me, you know what, this David Lee has this customer ID, XYZ. Here I have captured all the marketing interactions. I also have the marketing interactions for this David Lee. And by the way, based on other data that is coming in the system, I have defined that this guy is interested in LinkedIn, Microsoft, and these are the brand affinities that he has, for example. So this is the insight that this contact has in Customer 360. All is good. How can I make it executionable? So the next step is let's make it executionable. So I define my segment based on all the 360 data and the massive amount of combination that I have available. And I'm going to look over here. I'm going to quickly say, you know what? I've defined the segment. Let's just export this segment. And I'm going to export this segment as to the Dynamics 365 for marketing environment. And it's going to ask me, please export segment, give me the name, and give me what is the contact ID that is supposed to be mapped. When I export this segment, this system, it's going to automatically create a marketing list in my, and where is the system? Here. It's going to automatically create a marketing list in my Dynamics 365 for marketing environment. If I go into the marketing list, I will see that there is a list that is already created. Of course, I did it before. Unused open emails. If I would click that unused open emails, it shows me that this is a segment which contains one guy called David Lee. That is the same guy that was available on this segment if I would have opened it. You can see over here, this is the same David Lee guy, as you can see, full name. And this is the guy that is coming to the marketing list. So the segment got synced into a marketing list. So far we saw marketing environment or marketing engagement, but I never used a marketing list. For engagement and marketing product, we need to create a segment, but that's easy peasy. I could directly go into segmentation and create a new segment for Dynamics 365 for marketing and use that marketing list as a condition saying, you know what, every guy that's coming in this marketing list, please put him into a marketing segment so that I can send an engagement activity to them. And this is all seamlessly working at dynamic runtime. You keep on adding people in Customer 360 based on your new analysis, based on more data that is coming in. That keeps on sending data to marketing list. Marketing list keeps on feeding into segment, and that segment continuously gets utilized in customer journey. So now you're able to engage, execute your marketing activities based on the 360 data that is available for all your context from any first-party, third-party resources in the 360 environment. And that's it.
Thank you, Gufran. Now it's going to be a bit of a ride to finish all the slides. So what we've seen that basically so Customer 360 is this new product that was being released in April, GA as we call it, and it's a customer data platform. So it's meant to aggregate data, insane amount of data from all over the place, like Google Analytics, streaming, and everything. And then you can plug this data into marketing seamlessly, as Gufran showed. So the promise of the data-centric platform with machine learning, big data, and all this kind of unique ecosystem, it's happening right now. So now the pricing. Let's finalize, let's say, the rest of. Hopefully, we'll have some minutes for some Q&A, but otherwise we can, just come to the booth or just, we'll be here for questions later. So the pricing, the product is priced a little different than the rest, and this is, we know it's not optimal, because we need to learn yet another way of doing things, but this is aligned with the rest of the marketing products out there, the competition and the marketing industry as such. It's priced per contact. So you buy a number of contacts and you use them for marketing. So you buy, let's say, I don't know, 10,000 contacts, and then you start using the system, and as soon as you touch one of these contacts, it kind of gets away from the quota, and when you reach the quota, you either buy more contacts or you what we call a true down at the time of anniversary and so on. You can lower them. This is a very, just to give you an idea, we don't have time to go through all the details, but if you go with what we call the attach proposition, so that you buy basically marketing together with sales, you get a discount of half price, 750. Standalone is 1,500, and you get 10,000 of these marketable contacts. You can buy more. What's coming then in, what is coming soon in terms for us in terms of investments? We continue to invest a lot on the product, obviously, and especially in terms of fundamentals, ease of use. We keep on improving the user interface. We keep on making it easier and easier, because for marketers, it's very important to have something sleek and easy to use, because every click you shave off, let's say, from the UI, you save it every day when you use this kind of operations. So these are the main themes. Here, in this slide here, we just want to show you some of the scenarios, a very high level, just to give you an idea of what some of our customers are doing. So we have a very diverse set of customers, as I mentioned before. We have them from all over the place. We have even sports, very also well-known brands. And we are in the process of finalizing all the references and so on. We have fintech. We have higher education is a big vertical for us as well. So I mentioned banks. I mentioned manufacturing, obviously. So we have a very diverse, already now, 1 year, more or less a year after. And this is from release. And this is an example of what people are doing today with our product. You can use it for, we have like governmental bodies using our system, so non-profit organizations to reach out to the citizens or organize things in an automated scale way. But we go to businesses, which you really use it to generate demand and increase revenue. And we go all the way to regulatory, for example, from some banks and all sorts of things. So it's a very flexible system and can be used in many ways. So for you, the next steps will be to try the product. So we have trials. You go there and try it. Last 30 days, and it's super easy to set it up and just start sending emails, make an event, or do some social posts, what you like to do. And for any questions, we have a community. We have an idea site where you can vote your own ideas. Actually, we're listening very carefully to customers. So if you have an idea or some features you want to have, put it on the idea site, and the top voted ideas, we go and implement them. So these are the top ideas that are coming from the idea site. A/B testing, for example. You see, we are almost done with implementing it, and will be released in October. And we're also doing the quick send, which was one of the top ideas. So give us your feedback via emails or even in person, or just go to the idea site. We'll be very happy to, to listen to you. These are the related sessions I talked about. So if you are interested in knowing more about this product, seeing how it works and feel, you can come to the workshop tomorrow and play with it yourself with our help. So we sit down together and make it work. We can set up some scenarios and some emails, what you guys want to do. And we have another session also later tomorrow about the personalization aspects. And then we have a theater session as well. So a very complex version of what we've seen today. So with that, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And we can take some questions if you want. Yep. Yes. The question is, what about the other channels? So first of all, the system is open. So we have partners already now. They implemented their own channels. So you can build the channel you want. So push notifications, SMS, you name it, you do it yourself. Partners already have done it, actually. And they are in the process of, well, some partners already are on app source. So you'll find there more channels. Exactly. So it looks like a native tile. So it looks like one of ours, but it's built by a partner. So you drop it in, and it just works. Telesign is an example of that. They do SMS. Just go there, install it, and use it. It works like ours. In terms of, sorry.
Finish.
So sorry, there was another question. Transactional emails, we support transactional out of the box. So it's just a flip of a thing, and they're sent from a different IP set of addresses, but you can do them from our customer journey. So I forgot. Well, there are many things that I got a glimpse that, because we don't have enough time, but transactional is supported. Yeah.
By the way, there are business cards over here, as well as, how you can learn about Dynamics 365 for marketing. So the modules for certification and training. Also, feel free to, to pick up these. Feel free to reach out to us for anything.
Yes. Yep. Yes, we're working on that. Obviously, we're going to move from the current, voice of the customer to Forms Pro. Yeah, in the autumn. Sorry, for the October release, we call it. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, both. Oh, yeah, that's okay.
It's a good question. I think it's only for English for now. But this is one of the things we want to expand over time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So maybe so thank you. I'll take questions without the mic.